Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. So I just finished up a webinar and we had such a good turnout rate. Over 50% of the people who signed up came. And if you're doing webinars right now, you'll know that that's a really high rate. And so I wanted to share with you some details about how you can use a webinar in your business. And yeah, so let's get into it. So here's your 7 minutes of marketing. We do this every Tuesday, as you know, so good to see you again. All right, first thing to think about is your topic. Is it on point? So when you're using a webinar, is it something that your people care about? Are they passionate about it? Are they into it? I can tell you that we're still having people sign up for this webinar even though it already ended. And so that tells me this topic is on point and people are super interested. All right, another thing to think about is the goal. What's your purpose in doing this webinar? I would suggest that having something where you are wanting to be of service to your people that you've invited to the webinar, that you want to start a conversation with them about maybe next steps and what you can do, and something that's educational, that's really going to help them. So instead of a product pitch, product pitches or service pitches, I mean, it's okay, but it can be tough to get people super engaged because a product pitch can be more about me than it is about you. A service pitch can be more about me than it is about you. Whereas if you're being educational and starting a conversation with somebody, then it's more about you, more about the person that you're wanting to talk with. So if you can make it more about them and what they need and what they care about, the whole what's in it for me thing. So if 80% of your topic is talking about the problem they have and what they need and what you can do for them, and then keep it to 20, so 80-20, 90-10, whatever percentage you like. So it's more about them and what concerns them and what they need, and just a little bit about what you can do for them to solve stuff. That's the way to do it. I think that's the great way to do it. And then make it a really easy next step. So if they're interested in what you're talking about, what can they do to take a next step with you? Download a demo, get on a meeting, go to a web page to get more info. Whatever the thing is, make it really easy for them to go, ooh, that is so on point with what I need. Here's what that person can do to take the next step with you. So make it really, really easy for them to do that. All right, so key points in using a webinar for your sales and marketing is making sure the topic is super on point, current, up to date, something that they need. If you can, keep it educational. Stay away from product and service pitches. Instead, lean into what information does your customer need? What do your clients care about? And how can you help them learn about that stuff? And just that whole mindset of being of service. If you can be of service to the person, I think that's a great way to go. And then after you're doing that piece, it's going to help build that know, like, and trust. And then they're going to want to work with you, which is the whole idea. All right. Also, use it to start a conversation. So use that webinar to start a conversation and make that next step super easy. So that's my kind of key points for you on doing a webinar. And just as a little bonus piece, then definitely have something in place as a system so that maybe you decide you're going to have a certain number of invitations that go out in email and SMS, on social, and then have that system set up. So if it's really, this sounds like really kindergarten, but whatever, like a super basic if-then. If they've already signed up for the webinar, then stop inviting them to it and switch them over to the reminder emails. Or maybe you want to ask people, do you have questions, that kind of thing, that you can give them. And then during the webinar, because we work with people before the webinar, during the webinar, after the webinar, to help with all those phases of it. During the webinar, a really cool method that you can put into play is the sandwich method. And super basic idea. If you've got 2 people on there, for example, one of them's going to bring up the topic, the other one's going to fill in all the details on that topic, and then back to that first person to kind of make a little summary of it. And that works so well. And you can just sort of rinse and repeat that 3-4 times in the webinar. Now you've given your key points to people in a really digestible, easy way to follow. All right, so if you ever want help with a webinar, let me know. I'm all about working on them, setting them up, making them super successful for you. And I think I've got a template Yeah, if you text me the word events, I think that gives us the webinar stuff. Yeah, just stick with that. Text the word events to me at +1-530-203-5703, and then it's going to ask you for your email, and then you'll automatically get this template. And that's going to include actually all the templates we use for setting up a webinar, how to talk about stuff during the webinar, and how to do follow-up. So all those templates that we actually use right now with clients, you can take those for yourself and use them. All right, have a beautiful Tuesday and talk soon.